What's shaking, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more of the Tragically Hip, as well as a very ridiculous cat. And yeah, Yvonne pointed out to me that apparently, by the time you're seeing this, meaning for me tomorrow, but technically today as you hear this, that it is on some level like a national day in Canada, like Canada Day is what she was saying. So if that's the case, big shout out to all of you and happy Canada Day. And indeed, I wanted to mention, I do really appreciate the handful of folks who've begun joining this journey for the first, we've done what, like 6 reactions so far, something like that. So still early days, but I do appreciate all the people who've taken an interest in the reactions to the hip. And ultimately, again, it's a group I'm still very much in the early stages of learning about, but through the assistance of Yvonne and people like David, I have begun to learn more. And this is another tune I think David talked to me about on the very first occasion when I mentioned to him I was going to start reacting to the Tragically Hip. In the moment, I'm forgetting what he said, because we talk about a lot of stuff on Facebook, like in the Messenger, and I tried scrolling up to find it, but I couldn't find it. So again, I think David has actually talked to me about this tune on some level, but I believe this comes from an album from 1998. Let me make sure, let me confirm. Yeah, Yvonne says it comes from Phantom Power, 1998. So yeah, there's a few songs that there's a little bit of tidbits about in the requests that she had made for both the Yer Favourites Disc 1 and Disc 2. This one it's just listed as the track, so again, with a name like Poets, you're inclined to think about, literary creativity, different types of rhyming, different types of verse, including free verse. But obviously, not only would I expect it to be more complicated than that, or even not to relate to the idea or concept literally, but perhaps people in a different walk of life who are poets in their own way or in that context. Again, I still am learning about Downey's, lyrical tendencies, and again, like even the handful of songs I've gone through so far are very intriguing in terms of the way like different concepts are brought together, both personal and on a larger level. Bob Cajun was a great example of that, although again, I didn't realize that location was the rural place where, he came back to after being in Toronto and the riots and so on. So again, I'm still trying to piece together everything as I listen to it. But I'm curious to hear where a tune with this name will go. So let's find out. This is the Tragically Hip. The song is Poets, and it's included on the second disc of Yer Favourites, though it's originally from an album called Phantom Power in 1998.
Spring starts when our heart beats pounding, when the burn
what's happening. Because at first it was like, don't tell me what the young kids are doing, don't tell me they're talking tough, don't tell me they're antisocial. So I was like curious, like whether he was going to say they're actually poets. Like I thought it was maybe going to be like a different perspective on like, you know, a youth subculture that's seen as antisocial, but, you know, looked at from a different perspective. But that didn't seem to be what happened. It seemed like later he was saying like, don't tell me the poets are saying this or doing this. So it felt like it was shifting to like a different subject, or like translating the perspective from the earlier part onto a different direction. So yeah, not quite sure what's happening lyrically, but I do love his vocals, and I love the way he, like in this song, there were those like long parts of the verses where it was like the lines were flowing into each other. It wasn't like line, line, line. It was like line, like he was, you know, bending, and like the ending of one line he was like wrapping into the beginning of the next line. So I enjoyed the like dynamic nature of the singing, if that makes any sense. So yeah, like thematically, I'll look forward to hearing what people have to say. Once again, big shout out to Yvonne, big shout out to David, big shout out to Ryan, big shout out to all the people, you know, who joined this reaction series. Again, some of the groups that I'm going through, it's like, oh, you know, that's a name that I heard before, I was aware of them, I just never really went down this avenue. This is like a genuinely unknown deep dive completely. So again, after like 6 or 7 songs, I'm getting a sense for, you know, what their sounds are. Definitely getting a sense for Gord Downey's voice, and, you know, to a lesser extent his lyrics. But yeah, it's cool to explore a group that you basically have no context for. So again, shout out to Yvonne for sharing this. Do let me know what you think. And my ridiculously adorable cat, I am going to have to pick you up very briefly and put you right back. So let me know what you think. I'll see you next time. Peace.